Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba.
Hello. Welcome back to the sofa.
Welcome back to the talking sofa.
The talking sofa where we have a little chat.
We do.
And this week I am planning. I'm in the driver's seat.
She's in the driver's seat.
I've got my list of topics. I'm good to go. How's your week been?
It's been a very, very busy week for us.
It's been a very long week.
Which is why I think we're delayed on uploading. Because we've actually gone a bit of a naughty one. Have you noticed we've gone an extra week without uploading?
Shh.
But we have been doing food reviews. So if you do want to go on TikTok and look at our food reviews, they are great. But it's been very busy.
Yeah, we've eaten very well.
And I know someone... Hang on. Let me just dial up the phone. Hello. I know someone very, very special who said yes to the dress this week.
I did. I may have said yes to my wedding dress. Yeah, I'm still riding that high. It was great. It was really, really fun. I did not think I would find said dress.
We didn't think.
No, because it was literally my first fitting, and only took 2 people with me. I had one booked for this weekend with literally like everyone, all like 7 people that need to come, like mums, etc. Yeah, ended up getting it yesterday, so
it was
fun.
Unexpected but beautiful at the same time. It's the most amazing thing. I was so excited. I just got messages from like
everyone.
Carla's friends who went with her, and they were like, "James, she's gorgeous. You're gonna die when you see her." I was like, "Oh."
It's really annoying though, because I just want to show you and be like, "Oh my god, look what I've got!" But
the amount of times that you've already gone.
Do you
want to see the dress? So far that she zoomed in on a photo of her face, just so I could see how happy she was.
Yeah.
So I've seen the face.
You've seen the reveal face, but you haven't seen obviously like.
You are awful with keeping secrets, though. You are keeping secrets. Have we ever said that on the pod about when?
No, we haven't. So I guess we could expand on that today.
We could.
But literally, as soon as I got home, I messaged my mum. Like, she called me and I was like, "Oh my god, I found it! Oh, what do you think about this?" And sent her all the pictures and stuff. And I literally like messaged every single bridesmaid, my sister, like your mum, everyone. And yeah, it's been really, really nice.
I bet you look beautiful.
I think so. I actually felt like a very important person in there.
Good.
And I felt, I felt like, I can't even describe it. It's just such a like a surreal thing. But I feel really, really happy that there's like a weight been lifted now.
You definitely. I remember the phone call. So you called me like pretty much when you'd left the place.
Yeah.
And you were like, I could just tell by because you're quite worked up about the situation. It's a big thing.
It's a huge thing.
You only want to get married once. You only want to have this experience once. It's a very, very big thing when you actually deep it on a level. So you being able to get that dress first time and be so sure and so like in love with it. Yeah, no, I don't imagine you ever picking anything. You are incredibly indecisive, so for you to pick something like that,
I bossed it. I bossed
Happy
on the
day,
day.
honestly,
the woman
it's
was
amazing.
literally like, "You've told me exactly what you don't like, what you want."
Yeah.
We've explored a few different like fits and stuff.
You're doing great.
Yeah, I was really, really happy. I was very impressed with myself.
Good.
But I feel like we have got like another massive thing ticked off, because we've got the venue,
Huge, yeah.
we've got the dress, which I thought would take ages to find. I honestly thought that I would be like 6 months to go.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Oh my god, I haven't found one yet. What am I going to do? Shit. But it's all going quite smoothly. Like, touch wood, but
It is,
it's all
no.
going very smoothly.
I think I literally said to you just off camera before we started this, the funnest thing, and honestly, anyone that's planning on getting married or looks to get married in the future, the best thing about it, genuinely, is if you love your partner that much, the planning stage is so fun. It's just so funny. Like, we have nights where we will just sit there.
Do like wedding admin.
We did some last night and we were just absolutely pissing ourselves. Like, right.
We get like off track though, so we'll start with, okay, right, we need to look at this and this. So
all the important stuff.
Yeah, like we started out with like our invitees list.
We did.
Subject to change. But we wrote that out and we're like, okay, we only have like this amount over, like whatever, tick, cool, done. And then you turn around and you're like, oh, what are you gonna like walk up the aisle to? And I wish we kind of recorded a little bit of it, because like I'm awful with like stringed music.
Yeah.
It makes me cry a lot. And you were trying to find like obviously down the aisle walking stuff for like harps and guitars and violins and everything that you played, even if it was something like a funny song, it was just making my eyes water.
We just got delirious. We literally got to the point where we were
we were trying to find like, you know, when you go into the room and you're like announced as like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. like Roach Kane and everything. We were trying to find songs for that, which we've got like a few contenders, but then that ended up, we were both just looking at like wrestling intro songs.
We ended up just turning into wrestling intros, which was the funniest thing. And you picked some great ones. I still think for like, I won't say it, sorry. I won't say it. My bad. But I'll say the funny ones, because we were talking about like wrestlers' intros. So if anyone doesn't watch WWE, like when CM Punk used to have Cult of Personality,
Oh, it's so
I just imagine him being like, weighing in at 150 pounds, Carla, Roach Kane. And it just come in like, with fireworks. And it's just like
a big like sign, like Roach, like RC, like da-da-da-da.
little belt.
Yeah, and then I can come in, like, punch my way through everyone.
This would be so good.
It'd be so funny. Obviously, we're not going to do... Well, no. I don't think we're going to do that.
No. Would be incredible, but
so
maybe we just do it as a joke one time.
We're going to have to. We could do it here.
Yeah, just walk in. Maybe next time. Every time. You know, like how I used to do the thing where I used to play the music as you came in the door?
Yeah.
I might just do that now, where every time you come in from work... Or maybe you come in before me, but if you came in, like, after me any time, I'm just going to play wrestling entrances.
I'm fine with that.
And do, like, an announcement thing as you're walking down the garden, because we've got quite a narrow garden.
We should get a megaphone.
Weighing it, the neighbours would hate me. Can you imagine?
That's fine. It's just a bit of fun.
A little announcement thing. Anyway, in classic Roach Kane fashion, we have gone off track.
Yes, we have. Anyway, we'll keep on theme though, because obviously you mentioned about me being awful at surprises, and just to backtrack on that one. So when I was younger, you know this, but when I was younger, I used to be awful at the trustee for like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. I'm talking like 7, 8, 9, 10, that kind of, I mean, up till now.
The peak Carla years.
But yeah, the peak years. And it got to the point where my mum would turn around to me, because obviously when you're a kid, like if you've got siblings, when you're a kid, you don't actually get anyone Christmas presents.
No.
You're told, oh, this is what you've got your sister, this is what you've got your dad, blah, blah, blah. And I used to go and tell everyone. I'd be like, oh, I've got you this. So my mum would get so pissed off with it that in the end she'd just be like, right, you've got Amy underwear, you've just got socks. Okay, right. And I'd go up to her like, oh, I've got your socks for Christmas. But then when she'd open up the thing and I'd be like, hang on, that's not socks. And I'd get really like, oh, well, you didn't tell me with this, because you just didn't trust me with information.
Well, there's no wonder. Like,
oh yeah, I need to talk.
You're
to
still
someone.
Like that now, though.
Oh, I'm awful. I'm like a bloodhound when it comes to secrets.
It's like, do you want to know what you've got for Christmas?
Do you want to know? Can we just open one?
No.
Should we just open one together?
Yeah, and
a week before Christmas.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, go on then, because you've asked me 50 times. You go, no, that's the wrong answer. You've failed the test.
But like, touching on that as well, one thing that you actually did pull off that was shocking to me was our engagement.
Oh, you want to do the engagement story?
I want to do the engagement story.
Okay.
So, like, we'll do 2 different point of views, and for anyone out there who is looking to be engaged or has a plan to be engaged or whatever, it's just hilarious, because I love engagement stories because they never go to plan. And it's never, I mean, from your point of view, I don't think it's ever what you expect in
It's never how, it's never how, the way as a man, and a woman, I think as well, like you expect it to be like a film. And I think you'd be lying if you said that you didn't. Like, realistically, I thought that this thing was going to be the most incredible, like, romantic. I don't know, do a backflip on the gondola and like jump into my arms, and it's pouring with rain, and it's like passionate love on a canoe. We're not going to do that, right? It's going to be as simple as like, even to the extent of a speech, right? And people might nail this, and I'm quite good in terms of confident with speaking in front of people. I'm fine with that, right? Like I'm doing right now. But the way that I always said to you, I've always said to myself about that, about the engagement, was that I wanted to say something beforehand. I wanted to be like, not confess my love, but like promise that I'd take care of you and love you for the rest of the time and whatnot. I know, obviously, you know, that's making you well up right now, but
I'm fine.
But no,
Throw a harp into the mix, and I'd be crying like a baby.
No, but I fully wrote like a thing down and would recite it and would be like, right, when you get on the gondola, you know, it's all planned because I had a photographer, which we'll get into, but I had a planned speech of being like, Carla, I really love you. These past 2 years have been amazing, like stuff like that. Will you marry me? It doesn't happen like that, and we'll slide right down that gondola into your POV, I guess, first.
God.
Actually, no. Should we go for we'll go for the lovely. Right. Do you want to go for the lovely one first? Because then
no.
Okay.
We'll do my.
Okay. Whilst you're doing that, I'm just gonna go move the fan a second because it's 199 degrees.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Why you doing it with me?
We have a very, very warm house as well. Like, for some reason, the heat in here is like a volcano.
I don't want it to affect the mics.
Anyway, so yeah, leading into my point of view, I think it's a really, really funny / awful story. And I only say that because of obviously like the situation.
Yeah.
So it's like start of the month, okay, and you turn around to me and you're like, oh, I've booked us to like go to Venice for a few days. Didn't catch on to that being a thing because we only booked like 3 days. So I thought, okay, little like city breakaway, like, you know, little trip, like cool, perfect, lovely. Everyone at my workplace, for the start of this week commencing, we're going away Friday, I think it was, or something.
Yeah, it was over the weekend.
So Monday, they come in. One of them literally looked like an extra from The Walking Dead. He had what can I only describe as the plague. He had this sickness bug.
He was rotten.
Literally, it was disgusting. He was literally like coughing, spluttering, sneezing, mucus everywhere, and we literally were like, please go home.
Had the old COVID.
I don't even know what it was. It was COVID on crack. It was horrible. And even he was like, oh, I don't think I've ever been this sick. Like, you know, it was all in his eyes. He couldn't really like focus on anything. And obviously I'm like, guys, I'm going away this week. Please like keep your distance. Please keep everything clean. Obviously working in a photography studio, we shared a camera. It's difficult to keep...
You're sharing spaces as well,
You're sharing a space, you're sharing like a desk space. It's a very small environment to kind of keep your distance from everyone.
Yeah.
So naturally, second person comes in Tuesday, they've started to develop symptoms for it. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna, might be all right. You know, I feel okay, so it's Tuesday. Wednesday, I wake up and I have a cough. Sore throat, like razor blades, and I turned around to you in the morning and I was like, oh, I don't feel very well. And you're obviously like, oh, you should be fine. Obviously,
you'll be fine.
We're going away, like, don't worry about it, we'll get you some tablets, you'll be fine. So I will firm anything as well, like I will go.
You're a hard nut.
I will do whatever I'm meant to still, whether I'm dying or I'm okay or I'm sick or, you know, I'm tired or whatever. I will stick to my guns and I'll do what I've said that I'm going to do. So it wasn't a question of, oh, we're not going anymore.
No.
But I just got progressively worse throughout the week. And obviously, like, when we took off on the Friday, I was dosing myself up with Beecham's every, like, 3 hours. I had paracetamol, I had literally everything under the sun, and I was so bunged up.
You were cooked. You were absolutely cooked.
I don't think I've ever been that sick in all my life. And like we came out of the I'm getting
girls,
attacked
please
by
stop.
a cattail in the background. Oh, don't push her up.
That's fine.
So this carries on. And basically, when we land, it's like obviously you're knackered from whatever, but obviously with Venice, it's a lot of boats. The boats weren't helping. The boats were not helping at all. It was making me feel way worse than what I actually was. So we have a bit of a mooch around day one. I'm obviously like coughing, a little bit, you know, snotty, whatever.
You were fine. First day, you were actually okay. I think you were. No, but you were a lot better.
I was firming it. I was, you know, putting up a stance. Second day, everything took a bit of a slide to the left, if you will. So we plan to go to Murano in the day. So you have to get a boat over to Murano, and you know, go and watch like the glass blowing and everything else. It was lovely, but it had developed into what I can only describe as like the biggest ball of mucus on the planet, and my nose was constantly going. I turned around to you in the street at one point. I was like, "How much do you love me?" And you were like, obviously, like, I adore you. Like, what? And I was like, can I have your jumper, please? because I had no tissue.
It was a hoodie, wasn't it?
It was a hoodie. I had no tissue left. I took a roll of toilet roll out with me because I was having to blow my nose that much.
You used the whole toilet roll.
I used the whole toilet roll. I was going past restaurants just taking napkins because I just could not stop the floods of snot coming out of my nose. Awful. So I turned around to you when we were on the boat and I just honked into your sleeve and was like, well, this is attractive. Somehow, you still proposed to me. So, you know, hats off to you.
It was all in the plan.
But, yeah, I was, like, gagging half the time on the second day because I could not get this mucus out of, like, the back of my throat. Yeah. And it was just disgusting. And, like, all of my, like, eye bags were really bad because I couldn't sleep because I was so bunged up. And I remember I FaceTimed my mum when we were in the glass shop and she was like, whoa, what's happened to you? You don't look very good. You don't sound very well. I was like... I'll be fine. It's just like 2 days. Just you can get me home. It's fine. And then like the day that you actually proposed, I didn't cotton on because I was so poorly. Thank God, because again, I'm normally rude about surprises. I will find out what it is.
You would have found out.
I would have picked up on something being a bit suspicious. But yeah, the day that you asked me to like get a little bit more dressed up, which I'm very, very grateful that you did because I was not planning on wearing like anything nice.
Yeah, you tried not to.
No, I would literally just having like t-shirt and shorts.
You were like, I think I'm going to go a bit more natural today. I was like, that's great, but maybe not for tonight, just because I need like. Cause I'm gonna wear something more dressy. I was like, I'm gonna wear my.
I didn't want to feel like underdressed and
my shirt. I was like, we'll go for a nice meal. Like I just kept saying, we'll go for a nice meal, please.
So yeah, I got myself like dressed and like sorted and everything, and then we went out and you walked us to the square, and all of a sudden this like lady appeared with this camera, and I turned around and was like, what have you put? And you'd booked this lovely photographer woman, which was a very sweet touch because obviously photography, and she was taking us round and taking all these like coupley pictures of us, and I turned around to you at one point and was like, this feels very like engagement-y, but it's fine. Like, didn't really like think anything of it. I just thought, oh, you know, I do this stuff at work. It's obviously like couple poses and stuff, like whatever. And I remember saying that to you, and then obviously after it happened, I was like, oh, that's what it was. And then you got us on the gondola, and I must have been the biggest pain in the arse because I remember like we were cuddled into the chair, and I just kept going like, oh, have you taken a picture of that? Oh, have you taken a picture? Oh, take a picture of this one. This looks lovely with like the buildings and the bridge and everything. And you're just like shaking. Yeah, okay. And like one of the pictures wasn't very good, so I was like, oh, can you take another one? Can you take one of me and you? And this woman was sat at the end of the boat with like the film camera, and she just kept snapping away. I was like, she's taking a lot of pictures. Like she'd wasted my film. And then, yeah, you went to root something out of your bag. And I just thought you did something really, like, cute, like you brought flowers or something. Because, again, still not okay in my head because of the cold and everything else. I didn't know what planet I was on. No. And then you turned around to me and I saw this, like, ring in your hand. I was like, I kind of went into, like, a bit of, like, shock almost. Because it's like, I just did not understand what was happening. And I was really like, oh, God, like, He's doing it, like, he's doing it now, like, I'm full of cold and I don't know what to do, and I just was so surprised by you doing it. And what did you say? I just started crying. I was like, but why? Why do you want to marry me?
It was why? Why?
But yeah, then I realised, obviously, what you're doing, and I just was like, oh my God, But yeah, it was just hilarious. But then again, it was a little bit shit afterwards because I again was so poorly. I was exhausted as well because we were really bad sunburn. So we literally just got pizza, went up to our room. I just FaceTimed everybody, and then we literally went to bed.
Do you know what though? I think the way the evening worked, I really liked. I really liked the fact that the evening was there. Yeah, because I think that's so. I think if we had gone for a meal, would have been lovely, but too much because you would have been so eager to get back to the room and FaceTime. You're gonna FaceTime your mum on the streets and you're not gonna hear her. Like, it's so busy in Venice. Like we would have still probably done it at the dinner table, but it's so much nicer when we were just in our own comforts. We were sunburned to high heaven. I mean, the photo of you eating pizza,
and then like glowing. You're like
yeah, you are so sunburned. We both were. But that was wonderful. Well, to be fair, I think you've kind of blended in.
Oh no, wait.
Both. Oh.
So the first thing was we were at the airport to go.
Oh, when we nearly didn't go.
Yeah. So for months before, James was like, "Oh, I need to renew my passport. Oh, my passport."
Don't ever let your passport get low. By the way,
don't let it get past that point.
You will forget.
And he forgot, and I kept saying to him before, and I was like, "Have you done passport?" "Oh, yeah, don't worry about it." And then we get to the gate. I scan my boarding pass. My passport's through. I go through. I turn around, and you're there at the gate, and then you start chatting to this woman. And you're like, your face just dropped. And I remember coming over like, "What's going on?" And you're like, "Oh, my passport's like out of date. I don't know if they're going to let me on the flight." And I'm like, "I've already gone through the gate, mate. I'm not going on my own." And thankfully, I don't know. They must have had like a great night the night before and just were feeling generous.
Yeah.
But the woman bing-bonged someone over at the
general desk.
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, just let him through. As long as he's back before it like actually runs out, that's okay." Thank God.
I think still to this day, because we got back the day afterwards, I think because you can get back in the country as long as you've got your passport. Even if it's expired, they'll let you back if you're a British citizen. It's when it expires and you're trying to leave the country that they'll be like, no. So I think that I was lucky getting back.
Very lucky.
But they shouldn't have actually let me through because my holiday was till the Sunday, which was the 8th, and I think it was the 7th it was expired, which is mental. Like, it was
I don't know how you got away with that.
I went unscathed that whole trip.
Yeah.
Nothing was stopping me. Someone was saying no, and I was going yes.
It's happening.
It was happening. If I flipping meant it, it was like that plan was not being not being executed. That was going to happen.
So I remember
I had to do that
after you did it. We were like sat in our room and we were like talking about everything. I was like, "How the hell did you like get that past me? How did you do it so like secretively?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, like I was absolutely fine the whole way through. Obviously went and like spoke to mum and dad, which was really sweet, and like told some of like our friends about it." And it was when you were like, "Oh yeah, I was a bit like, oh shit," on the second day when I was really poorly.
I was really panicking because your mum was messaging me being like, "What are you going to do?" And I was like, "Well, I'm going to propose to her." Obviously, still, I don't care. Like, obviously, that sounds bad actually. Let me rephrase that. I do care that she's poorly, but at the same respect, I was like, I know she's still going to appreciate it deep down. If she were in bed sick, obviously then we would have flown home, rode it out, flown home, and I would have had to do it somewhere else. But you were still there, like you were still like trying to fight through it because you are a fighter. So thank God you're a fighter.
Thank God.
Thank God you're not a pansy like me.
Roaches are indestructible in many ways, shapes and forms.
Nuclear indestructible. They outlive the nuclear war.
Nothing gets to us.
But no, I think we were going to do the two sides of the story, but I think you've kind of encapsulated. I won't bore people with mine because it's literally the same story. It's the same thing again and again, as much as I know you'd want to hear it. But it was just really that in my head, whilst all of this is happening, I am so panicked. I am so like... Because, like I said, on the first day, you were sniffing. It was almost like hay fever on the first day. That's how it kind of was with vibes. You were a bit kind of like head fuzzy. Second day,
I was written off.
You were fucked. You were
bad.
I will bleep that, but you were fucked. You were gone. You're a goner. Like, yeah, you were in the depths, and you were really. And God bless you. You were on. I don't know how you made the boat.
I don't know. I just.
Do you know what I was trying to do?
Stared at a piece on the floor. And just wished it to be over, which sounds really bad.
And I was trying to do really cute things. So the whole time that me and Carla were together, right, up until the engagement, I was getting photos of our trips of her from behind, which sounds weird, but I was getting photos of her walking because I wanted to do one of her walking until the point where we got engaged and maybe she walks onto the gondola where I proposed. That was the whole plan. I couldn't do that because, I would try to get videos of you, but you were kind of
coughing or
you just or like there's one I know exactly what it is, right? And I might if I can put it here, right, for people that are listening on Spotify. Basically, this video I panned round of the view of Murano, and then Carla's there, but she just looks so vacant. You look like you weren't fucking on this planet. You were just kind of like, and I was like.
Never mind.
Oh no. I was trying to take photos of you.
Oh.
I was getting loads of photos, and I was getting videos of you, but saying they were photos, so that like I could see you like smile and whatnot. And yeah, it was lovely, but it was just
awful. It was so bad. Like I've never been that sick in all my life.
But it's a great story. It's a great story.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Like
it's a traumarific wedding.
It is. Like everyone that I tell it to, it's a funny memory. We need to go back to Venice at some point, and I need to actually enjoy
properly
it when I'm not dead in bed or sneezing out my.
Venice is cool.
Day.
Venice was cool. Like Venice is a really good place. It is very, very packed. It was busy.
There's so much walking as well.
Oh god, yeah, we did loads. Do you remember there was one day where we walked
past that bloody bridge about 20 times with her, and I turned around and was like, I'm not going back over that bridge.
It was that day we had like there was one day where we walked like 20,000 steps. It was the hottest day. It must have been the day when you were really poorly as well. Yeah, because I remember every 2 seconds we stopped to get the hoodie out, and you were swiping your nose. Yeah. Was quite bad. Gorgeous place though. Italy's beautiful. But yeah, our engagement story is definitely for one of the reasons why we probably called the podcast Traumarific, is because people love that story. People love the fact that I still was like, nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rise. And we have a lovely photo, offset, which hopefully we might put. I think we should make like a little thing for the backdrop where we have like a good thing. That'd be quite cool.
See, we have plans for the
vibe,
backdrop
the feng shui
situation, but it's like we could do with either like another armchair in the background and then like a shelf, and we've got like something in our heads that we want it to look like.
What kind of if you guys listen and you kind of think of vibes, because I've tried to put our mugs in the back, but it would be nice to have some it'd be cool for some like just a nice backdrop, because we've got some really nice photos. Like I said, with the photographer I hired, she was amazing. She was so lovely.
Yeah, she was really sweet.
What's her name again?
Caroline,
yeah. Caroline was a lovely lady, and she just got the perfect moments. Like I said to her, I appreciate your photos, because obviously she's like a professional photographer, but I said, please can you get like a Polaroid or like a film camera shot of me proposing, because it's the one thing that I want to cherish. I just want that moment on film, because there's a little bit of a difference between film and having it on like a professional shot.
My love for film cameras takes me back to my granddad. I was gifted my first Polaroid camera when I was 8. And I just love that you can't retake them. There's something really raw about if you mess it up, it's funny, it's lighthearted, whatever, but you can't take that moment back.
Exactly.
Like there's something unpredictable about it.
That emotion is captured within that photo.
You can't redo it. It's very raw. It's very real. Whereas like obviously if it's on your phone, you can edit it. You can put people in and out of pictures nowadays. Sound really old.
Yeah, you can do really everything. Yeah.
You can literally do anything on like a phone, which makes me really sad, because I feel like there's a generation of people that are either going to go unscathed from that type of interaction, where it's not really like real, so to speak, because you can cut things, you can cat people in, you can Photoshop people in, get people to look at you, like you can go in and do all this cool stuff, which, don't make me wrong, is amazing, but there's just something, in my opinion, that you just can't beat film photography.
Do you think it would ever die? Because I don't think it will.
I would like to think it wouldn't, but again, nowadays with like AI becoming even more so used and strong with the generation that's growing up, it makes me very sad to think that it might.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much hope for the younger generations in having that. Like,
our kid will have like 6.
Yeah, but there's a nostalgia thing at the moment, I think, where people enjoy it, because film cameras definitely. I used to go into our local camera store. I don't know if I can name it. I don't know. But yeah, I used to go in there, and they always used to have wow cams, right? Which, you don't know what wow cam is. It's just like a 35mm camera, but they used to have stacks of them. Stacks and stacks and stacks, right? Last time I went in there, which was about 3-4 months ago, couldn't get one.
No. But that makes me happy.
And the woman was like, all of a sudden we've started selling these wow cams. And I was like, yeah, it's because everyone's just started taking stuff on film again, because people love to capture that moment, because back in the old day, back in my day, you didn't know what it looks like. That's the thing. We've got a wow camera, which we've had for 3-4 months, right? And we've still got like 2 shots left to take on it, right? And we don't know what's on it.
This is where it is.
I'm sure it's upstairs. We'll find that. That's for another episode. But I do think that like that, I would love for that to stick with generations, like photography in general, because like you said, it is a dying art in terms of actually being someone who controls like everything because of AI and because of everything like that. It sucks because, you know, people work hard for it, but it's
just one of those things that my thing with photography is I describe it as a portfolio, right, of my life.
Yeah.
People come and go, friends come and go. I still have
it's a documentation of your life,
and pictures with those interactions and those people because that still happened. That's still a part of me and who I am and what I've done and where I've been and, you know, the people that I've picked up along the way, the friends that I have now. It all molds into your story. And it's that classic thing of one day when we're sat here possibly doing this still with a little one here, we're like, oh yeah,
what do you think?
What do you think of this? And you know, like these are all these people that we've met, and you know, like it's all about experiences, and documenting that is a very important thing to then break down to the other generation and be like, you know, XYZ, or I remember when this happened, or I had a similar thing and this person affected me in this way, and you know, you can then go back and go through everything. And I just think there's something nice with that, because my parents were like really, really bad with it in a way. Like they don't have anything from when they were younger because everyone was out. They didn't have phones. They didn't do anything. So I don't really know a lot of them when they were younger. I haven't seen a picture of my mum and dad when they're my age because they didn't have any. Yeah.
It's one thing that I think my parents, when they were together,
they were really good.
Yeah, because it's amazing. Like when my mum moved out of her house, she had a bunch of like albums. I mean, they have like 21 albums, but they were really good. But it is nice because like, again, they've done what we want to do with our child.
Yeah.
So like I can look and I know that there's 21 photo albums from like my birthday parties, or like it's half of them aren't even from me though. They're from when like before I was born. It's that holidays, but they used to take a film camera every time they went on holiday and get developed, and it was like, you know, photos. My dad's like 25 years old, which is really cool to see, but then like those will be given to me eventually. And then like, because we were talking about this, and sorry, I feel like no, it's not really taken over your podcast, but when you said about like ages ago to me, what worries me is, where do those photos go if our like grandkids don't want them?
Oh my God, yeah, it aggravates me. It keeps me up at night. It gives me anxiety and it aggravates the hell out of me. So when I was in Australia last, we went to this big like indoor flea market thing, and there was so many like old pictures, just normal pictures of like people on holiday, people like just doing things, but they're all like black and white, like really old like film photos, but just there. And I always think it's really, really, really weird to just have these
people's
family photos in auction houses. Like, where have they come from? Who's going to want that? I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know the story with it because it never comes with any like papers or information. And it makes me so sad to see when you are in like an auction house or something, there's always a pile in the corner of memorabilia or like random people's memories and lives and all that documentation is there.
That belong to people.
Exactly. There's a story there. There's a path there. There's experiences in there. But their family either sees it as like junk or rubbish or something, and they're just like, oh yeah, take that with you, I don't care. And it makes me really sad because I say to you all the time, like I've got these like massive stacks of like photo albums spanning from when I found my Polaroid camera at 16 through till now when I'm 25. And like I said, there's everything in there from like birthdays, pictures from college with Molly, who now has a child, which is quite sweet. And there's everything in between and everyone in the middle of that. To think one day when we're like 80 or plus or whatever, and if, you know, when we do pass away eventually, to know that that will end up in someone's hands and they're either going to be like, oh, I don't know who these people are, chuck it, or they're just not going to look after it or keep it like...
Makes you really sad.
It makes me so sad because like I've worked my whole life making this stuff.
And it's like, again, it's that deep question of like where people kind of deep their life and they're like, you know, but what you're doing is you're actually capturing those memories, whereas, you know, people have this like crisis where they're like, oh my god, you know, when I die I've got nothing to show for it. You do, because you've got a million albums by that time.
But then this is where someone like our friend Mitch, he's a very minimalistic person. He doesn't have a lot of like things. If you ever see the inside of our house, we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of like
house tour,
knick-knacky things, don't we? Because we just keep things, and we like stuff.
We like crap.
We like crap. We're those people. We have a lot of crap.
We love crap,
and we love it. But he is very much the opposite. If he could, his room would literally be like a blank white square with a bed and a TV in it, because he thinks the opposite way. It's like clutter to him, and he likes like clean, and you know, if it doesn't hold an attachment, he doesn't have it, he doesn't need it. Yeah. But he still has photos, but it's the thing of like, I think in someone like that's mindset, they've lived it, they don't need to like collate as much and have as much, and you know,
and that's
they've
fine.
got the
like,
stories, and you know, they can kind of do things.
Everyone's to their own opinion. Like some people, like
I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, because I think it defines as well, like who's a hoarder and who's not. Like you're not. Yeah, but exactly.
Raised his hand in the background.
But someone who wants to collect stuff has an emotional attachment to that said item. Like, you know, I bet if I said to you, "Oh, Carla, do you want to throw out that pillow there?" You'd be like, No, because the cats use it. And I'd be like, oh, they haven't used it in about 5 weeks. And
I'm a massive hoarder. I have a problem with keeping stuff.
But I'm the same, because my mum always used to say to me when I was a kid, she got, right, James, going to bring the toys down from the loft or bring your toys out. You need to have a clear out. Oh, like, what about this one? No, keep it. I'll use it. No. Literally, it's the standard hoarder line. No, keep it. I'll use it. And it's like, but James, you haven't used it in like a year. You really No. Because I look at it, I'm like, that's sentimental to me. Like, I really like that, and I'm going to pick it up one day, look at it and go, and then put it back down again and never look at it again for another 5 years and go, I kept doing that with stuff in the loft at my mum's. I was so bad for it. I kept looking at stuff and being like, that's really cool. I'm going to keep it. Yeah. And I'm really, really bad for that. But yeah, I think in terms of photos, they are so damn sentimental, and it's so happy. I'm so happy that we got that one from our engagement. That's the only thing that I really, really wanted. It's
the only thing that came that was good of it. for what it
and I look at it every day. I do. I look at it every day, because in the photo, if I can take a photo of it and put it here, thank you, post-editing, James. But yeah, the emotion that's in the photo is just really, really cute, because it's pretty much the moment as I've asked. Carla's obviously upset. I'm there, like, also upset, but yeah, they're both there, kind of like blubbering, like, as I'm putting like showing the. I think I'm putting the ring on you, aren't I, in the photo? And like, it's just full of. It's just that captures that exact moment where it's like, yes. So.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to go into is the Wheel of Drama.
I really want to get a theme song for this still. By the end of this series, we'll
have a theme song.
We'll have a theme song. What do you think it should go like? Wheel of Trauma.
Something like that, just nice.
Full of fun.
Just a little jingle. I'll put you in charge of the jingle.
Thank you, that's what I was waiting for. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you are new, the Wheel of Trauma, of course, is just a wheel that's on my phone. It has mine and Carla's name on it. It'll land on mine and Carla's name, of course. And from there, we are chosen on the spot to do one traumatic story from our life. It could be literally from yesterday all the way to when we were born. So it can literally be anything. But we're going to do it right now. So let's spin
the
wheel. I needed it then. I was so close. It's like a knee-jerk reaction for you to go. Ooh.
Ta-da!
Guess who it is?
It's me.
It's you. It's Carla.
Okay, so the story that I'm going to go into, it takes place in a certain European country. So it's not related to you. I don't know if you know the story fully, but basically it's quite fitting because of how we started with obviously Venice and me being sick.
You're not very good in Europe, are you?
No, I'm not very good. Europe doesn't agree with me.
You're allergic to Europe.
I'm allergic. So the first time I went to Europe was with my good friend Molly, and we were how old were we? I think we were like 17.
Old enough
18.
to travel alone, so yeah.
Yeah, because she had to go for part of her uni thing. Can't remember what the hell it was, but she didn't want to go on her own, so she just said to me, look, I'm going to do like a budget. Never do Paris on a budget, but she was like, yeah, I'm going to do a budget trip to Paris. Do you want to come with me? It's going to cost X amount of like money, whatever. I was like, okay, cool, I'm in, let's go. And we're really looking forward to it because obviously we hadn't been like away together. I hadn't really been away with like a friend before, so obviously we were both like pumped for it. She had all her like things to tick off, like go to the Louvre, go to this, go to that. And we got there. The flight was absolutely fine. The flight was great, you know, quite quick, whatever. Got there, got the taxi to the hotel we were staying at, and we checked in. First red flag. Guy at the desk, bless him, was like, oh, you know, how long are you here for? And we were like, oh, you know, a few days, whatever. Do you have any recommendations for the area? And he literally said to us point blank, do not go out after 5 o'clock. And we were like, okay.
What, in the middle of Paris?
Yeah, he was like, don't go out after 5 p.m. because, you know, you're both young girls and, you know, you're like...
Jesus.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, that's not really what the
thanks.
vibe that we need, but sure. Because we were both very, very awkward, very, very, like, not socially good. We were very inept at that age. And we were the type of people that if we had to speak to someone, we kind of look at each other very mousely, like, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
And in the end, I had to grab the bull by the horns and just kind of lead, which was very scary because I was a very mousy 17-year-old.
But you were the prime targets to be kidnapped.
Yes, absolutely, because we stuck out like a sore thumb as tourists as well, because we didn't know where the freaking hell we were going. Everything went out the window. So, and we weren't very confident either. So again, it was looking a bit like, oh, where do we go? What do we do? People could see a mile away that we were tourists. So yeah, the guy introduced us to this area. Don't go after 5. We went up to the room. Again, I've got a little bit of a tickle in my throat, as I usually do when I go to Europe. So the first day I was a little bit under the weather, had a bit of like a cough, had a bit of a fever. Didn't really think too much about it, right? The hotel room I can only describe as a furnace. It was so unbelievably hot.
Was it that it was hot, or was it your like cold giving you the...
No, it was... I said to Mona, I was like, are you warm? She's like, I want to rip my skin off. Like, it got to the point in like the evening where like obviously we travelled and we were like trying to like map out where we were going and stuff. So the first day we just took in the hotel to kind of find our bearings and everything else. And we literally laid on the bed together. Like, we had... The windows were open. It wasn't doing anything. There was no breeze. There was nothing. Obviously, we had the window open. It didn't do anything. It wasn't helping. Obviously, because we weren't very brazen, we didn't think to go downstairs and ask anyone to turn the heating off, right? So whatever germs had began to have a party in my immune system were amplified by the heat being so hot. They were just multiplying. And I woke up in the morning and I couldn't really speak. My throat felt like it had ballooned. Like, I couldn't like really breathe very well. Like, all of my windpipe was really, really bad. And I kept saying to Molly, like, I don't feel very good. Like, oh, I don't know what it is. And she was like, oh, do you feel sick? I was like, no, it's not sick. It's more of just like a really bad throat. But like, I can't really, like, my temperature was through the roof and everything else. So we packed up, again, had some like tablets, firmed it like I do, went out, we went to Disneyland, and there's some hilarious photos of me, if James can throw a few up. We realised at Disneyland that one of my eyes was like completely swollen and like we were trying to take like pictures and stuff, and I was just there like dying in the background.
Why just the one?
I have no idea. So anyway, the rest of this thing goes around, and we were like severely malnourished when we were over there because, again, we weren't very confident. We weren't going to go and eat in a restaurant because, heaven forbid, talking to people, social anxiety. So we decided we were just going to play it safe and go to the supermarket up the road from our hotel and just get stuff from there and, you know, make like dinners and stuff. That didn't go to plan because, again, supermarket... We didn't have like a kitchen in our hotel room. We didn't even have a kettle. So we ended up just getting like bread or like pastries. We literally had like just carbs for the whole time we were there. So much so that on the last day I turned to Molly and was like, I need a vitamin in my system. I'm poorly.
I need a fruit.
I need a vitamin in me now. So we literally went and got like a pack of 12 apples and just ate them. And
You ate 12 apples?
like together, obviously, we split it, well, animals. And
That's still 6 apples each.
yeah, it's more than I'd had.
You mentalist.
For the whole time we were there.
6 apples, Jeremy.
Yeah, like it was needed, believe me. So when we got back, because the trip was just written off, like nothing went to plan. We were way too timid. We should have never gone, and we were so skint because we were only like 17 that we just couldn't afford to like eat anywhere proper or go anywhere proper. And we were just huddled up in this hotel room, sweating through our fucking skin the whole time. And I got back and I was still really poorly. I went to doctors. I had severe tonsillitis, which had like swollen my eye and swollen my glands when they couldn't fucking breathe. And I got back and I said to her, I was like, oh, did you think it was tonsillitis? She was like, well, you didn't really look all right. You looked a bit, I was just winking the whole time because my eye had actually closed up itself. But it happens every time.
You are allergic to Europe.
Every time, because when a few years later, I went to Paris with my sister Amy. Same thing happened. I was at such severe allergies, I couldn't breathe. My throat was really bad.
And you had the same in Italy.
I had the same thing in Italy. So I don't know what happens with me when I go to Europe, but something does not agree, and it just makes me really poorly.
There must be something in the water or something that genuinely
I have no idea.
Something makes you poorly over there.
Yeah, but it was so bad because I think the heat, like I said, of the hotel was just amplifying it, and it was like a breeding ground for obviously something in whatever was going on with me. It was just getting so much worse because the temperature was through the roof, which was just like
multiplying everything.
Let's just multiply everything that's happening to you right now. And like I remember we went out after 5 one day and we were both there like, where did we go? And there was just like groups of people and all of like,
there's gonna be werewolves about like.
No, but it was genuinely like terrifying at that age when you are a little bit awkward and socially.
Oh god, yeah, 17.
Stuff.
I couldn't imagine being in Paris by myself and like.
No, and like we got to like the airport back. We got back into Birmingham, and again with all the trials and tribulations that had happened, I turned around to her because she was just talking to me. I wasn't really taking anything in because I was really poorly still. I just wanted to get home. I was done with the trip. I was done with the day. Wasn't feeling very like social, and I just said to her, I was like, Molly, I will give you €1 to leave me alone and go over there. And her little face was just like, I know you're not very well, but that's not very nice. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've got nothing left. I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I need to get a prescription. Something's not right.
You were done. You were cooked. You were absolutely cooked.
So yeah, that's my story.
That's an impressive story.
It's a sad
You just shouldn't
story.
go again. We're gonna have many trips to Europe, and they do. You do worry me.
I've just need allergy tablets before I go. Something
doesn't
not
agree. It's never agreed because that's years ago as well.
Yeah, I'm 17.
And it's all very similar symptoms.
It's just my breathing and my windpipe.
You are a little bit.
I'm cursed.
Carla's European curse.
Oh, if anyone else has something, you let me know I'm not alone, please.
Yeah, please do. Please let her know that she's not alone. I'm sure there's more people that can go one-eyed and view Disneyland Paris through one eye.
It's really sad, honestly. Like we'll put some pictures in because it's hilarious again looking back at it. But at the time, I was so sick, and when you're in like a different country and you're poorly, all you can get is either like paracetamol or hay fever tablets, basically, because I don't know what else to ask for.
The best one is the fucking when you walked into a pharmacy.
Oh yeah, it's right. So that was with Amy. So again, we were walking around Paris and my throat was really bad. I couldn't swallow. Like my glands had swollen like so much that I couldn't really swallow. I couldn't really eat.
I'm not laughing at you.
It was just really awful, and I was just not with it. I was not coherent.
Yeah.
I was on a different bloody planet again, and I had a like temperature and everything else. I was sneezing loads. And like I said to Amy, like I can't, I need to go and get something. And I literally walked into this pharmacy and this woman looked at me and was like, oh, allergy. And I was like,
so like the French 20.
Like, yes, thanks. Can I have some tablets, please? And she was like, oh no. And she was trying to like look at me, and my eyes were like watering. There was floods and floods and floods of just streams of tears through whatever. It was like hay fever squared. Like, it was just like such
hay fever squared.
It was just such an amplified
multiplied
version of hay fever and allergies and God knows what else.
Well, you know, it's funny. Again, I love that story so much because when Carla first told me the story about the allergy, I was pissing myself because I could imagine, what it sounded like was like 2319, but in French. The woman's
the shower curtain goes
up. Like the little ding ding ding, like as you open the door, they've just looked at you and gone, allergy, ooh, ooh.
Get it out, clean it quick. But yeah, it was really, really bad. And I was okay after I had my allergy tablets.
Oh, so you were okay after?
Yeah, when we were in Paris, like with Amy, because the woman looked at me and was like, yeah, you're not okay. We need to get allergy. She gave me the allergy tablets, and I actually was like fine after. And everything kind of ceased to exist after it had gone in my system the next day. I was a lot better. But for some reason, obviously what I had with Molly was like severe tonsillitis. And
also you were younger.
Yeah.
It was a bit more.
My immune system was more, I mean, it's crap anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nowadays, if, you know, it's still a bit of a push and ask, but if you were ill on broad, you would just go, right, find me a pharmacy, go and do it.
Help.
Allergy.
Help me now. But no, because when we went away to Venice, I take a pack of tablets for everything now because I had Beecham's, I had
it's a
cold
full
and
medical
flu.
kit.
I had cold and flu tablets, I had plasters, I had moisturiser because when I was with Amy, all of my skin dried up in my face because I was rubbing my nose so much, or because my allergies were that bad. My skin was just like fried. So I was trying to like get something to just help. So I took moisturiser with me, like a big fat pot of it, to just lather myself.
Your body just goes into shutdown mode.
It's just like, yeah, no, I don't like this. The air's off, the water's off. We're not doing this.
Off. We're going into overdrive.
I'm like, why? But
dry up the skin.
It's just not good. Because I was fine when we went to Barcelona, I think.
Yes.
I was fine when we went to
Rome.
Italy. Other than Venice.
Yeah, you're fine for Rome, you're fine for Barcelona. Not good for Venice.
No.
I never want to see you in that mode again. Do you know what the best part about that, we've not even said, is that when we got back, I then got ill and got the same illness.
God, yeah.
And I was off work for a week.
We were both off work for, I think, a week and a half in total.
But I had to literally... because I felt really bad because I don't like taking time off work. I really don't.
It was so like poorly timed though.
Yeah, and I remember voice noting my boss on WhatsApp and being like, I can't come into work. And it sounded like I was, but he was like, oh God, mate, you sound really bad. And I was like, no, I couldn't speak. I was going, I'm really sorry, but I couldn't. And that was for like, it didn't get better. No. It got worse. I've
never been poorly that it's like attacked my eyes before because honest to God, I couldn't open my eyes. We were both there like laying in bed next to each other.
We were fooked.
Like drenched through from sweat because of fever that we both had, and we were just kind of holding hands in the middle of the bed like, are you okay? No. Are you okay? Not really. Do you want some tablets? Yeah.
We created
dosing each other up. There was Beecham's.
I remember by the time we got out of the bed, there was a permanent. So the place
sweat patch.
It wasn't a sweat patch. It was that dent. There was a crevice in the bed. Yeah. There was a crevice in the actual like a dip in the bed.
Well, we just laid there for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Because we were literally. I've never been like proper bed bound before, but I remember. After like a few days, I was like, right, this is ridiculous. I've had X amount of days off for Venice. I need to go back into work. Like, I can't afford to be off for much longer. And I went in, and God bless her, my friend Izzy works at the same studio that I did. And I remember messaging her like, I need to come into work. I don't think I should really be driving because obviously I couldn't open my eyes because they were just like that. It was like a little mole looking into like the sunlight. And there was just so much pain through my eyes that I was just like, if I drive to your house, can you please just drive us into work together? And she was like, yep, that's absolutely fine, no problem. So I get to hers, get out the car, and I'm like, hello. And then she's like, oh God, like, what the hell's happened? Filled her in about everything, obviously. She'd already had this plague, so she was clear of it. Obviously, like, she was all good. Yeah. And I got in the car, and it was like a bus hit me. I just looked at her like, oh my God, I don't feel very good. And she was like, oh, what is it? I said, it's literally like my eyes and it's giving me such a bad migraine. So she gave me her sunglasses and I was sat like if anyone's seen the episode of SpongeBob, the chocolate one, where like there's this little shrimp woman in a wheelchair, and like she's just her eyes are just these black holes because she's all dried up and like scraggly.
That was you.
That was me in her car seat with these sunglasses on, just like.
I'm just gonna put Carla in that exact photo.
I was like, "Are we there yet? Are we at work yet?" And we walked in, and we both had an appointment first thing. She had a couple, easy shoot. I had a family of 5 and a fucking dog with like kids of all different ages, which obviously means like it's a lot more energetic. And I looked at her, I was like, I cannot do that today. Like, please, I'm begging you, can we swap shoots? I can't do a dog and like a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 10. I can't do it. I need to just like peace and quiet. So we swapped in the end, Bessa. She did me absolutely solid. And I went and did the very refined, slow couple shoot that I did with minimal effort and movement. And then for the rest of the day, again, she was like, "Oh, do you fancy doing some like calls and stuff?" I was like, I can't do anything. So I just sat there with the sunglasses on, like staring at the screen with like obviously the dark lenses on, like I don't know what to do. Because obviously I didn't drive in either, so I couldn't even go home because I was an idiot and drove to her house. So I just sit there all day like fried from any information or interaction with anybody.
You couldn't take in literally any sentence.
No, I just wanted to put a little like shame curtain over myself so no one could like look at me or like.
You were okay. You were all good.
It's gross.
You were good. You were good.
Oh, but yeah, we both aptly named that the plague. That was the plague of 2024.
That was the plague. The plague of 2024.
I've not been sick since. It's probably sorted us out immunity for a while.
I felt sick the other week and I was scared that it was very similar.
Oh no.
But then it stopped, so I was good. But that
the plague 2.0.
That was awful. That was dreadful.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Absolutely dreadful.
But we got through it. Sickness and health.
Like everything.
And we firmed it and we're out the other end.
We did it together. Holding hands, sweaty in the bed.
Yeah, it's just, are you okay? No. Just binge watching Catfish TV for like a whole week.
She watched Catfish the whole week. That was glorious.
That bit was good. The rest of it was
good. The rest of it was horrible. Horrible.
Oh gosh. But yeah, that's a touch on sicknesses for the two of us. I've got one last thing I would like to cover.
Ooh!
No, a little bit of a
closer.
wild card. And that would be music.
Music.
So, we have very recently added to our ever-growing vinyl collection.
We have. We've got a guest.
Bicky.
Little Bicky.
She won't settle on us. I bet she won't.
That's fine.
But yeah, we've been growing our vinyl collection, and I got you for your birthday 2 extra vinyls.
Some amazing vinyls.
So I got you 2 of your favourites, which was what's the Daft Punk one
Daft
called?
Punk Discovery.
Oh, Discovery. And I got you the Biggie one. So what would be, if you could describe...
It's okay, she's all chill. She's happy.
Half of us cut out the shot. Our main coon Biscuit has just joined us for a cuddle on the sofa, which she never actually does, so we'll get into...
Cutie.
I think we should cover Biscuit in one episode, because she's a story in herself.
Biscuit is an hour-long episode in herself. Biscuit, have you got anything to say about that?
No.
She says...
Don't out me to everyone.
She says, you fucking what, you piece of shit.
And she's gone.
And she's gone. But yeah, she is an episode in herself that maybe next episode I'll fork it into my episode, maybe. Or if you want to do it on yours.
I'll save it for mine. She's my baby.
Yours.
But yeah, music. So, what other things would you like to add to your collection? Where do you see our vinyls going to? I
love our vinyls, and when we move, I really want to get, I've showed you, there's a really cool unit that I want to get to have them on with like our player and like a little speaker that we'll get, and we'll have like a nice little section, because again, very similar to like photos, vinyls are a dying breed that have come back recently because people like to be cool and like to keep them, but there's this sense of like, maybe it's being a DJ, if I've never told you that before. Maybe it's being a DJ, but like there's this sense of like value to a record. And you have that outlook as well, I know you do, of like every record means at least something. Like I don't just want to get my favourite albums. I want to get my favorite singles. I want to get like, you know, songs that I heard on the radio when I was growing up, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that's fine. And it's like £2 at a record shop, and I'm like, yeah, sick. So I think that's one thing that I'd like to add. Is just like cool little singles for sure. I'd love, and you know what I'm like at the moment with my obsession over car boots and whatnot. I'd love to find.
You're not going to find anything decent at car boot.
We will find something good at a car boot. We will, won't we, Bicky? But the one thing that I really, really want to do is get like a really good limited edition vinyl.
Yeah, to be fair,
like a keepsake, like a 1 in 1,000 type of ordeal. That'd be cool. What about you?
To have. I would like a limited like run one from literally like anyone, just because again it's a good piece to have in your collection. There's a good documentation again, going back to obviously the photography stuff, because not everyone's going to have that. It's going to go up. It's going to, you know, be like a sorted after thing after X amount of years. But I quite like, there's certain like pieces of music to me that, again, because I have attachments to things, spark little like memory things. Like, you know, in Inside, is that Inside Out?
Inside Out, yeah.
Inside Out, when they have the little like memory balls.
Yeah.
For me, there's specific ones that I have in my head. So I said to you when we were fucking around with music for the wedding.
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh my God, what's it called? Temper Trap. That
Sweet Disposition.
Yeah, that will always make me cry, because to me that song, I can have it on and it will just play key highlighted memories of just like.
It's a good montage song.
It's a great montage song.
But you used it in a montage for 1 year, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's exactly why. Because it just throws up all these like really core memories of like me laughing with like Amy when she came to visit, or when I was over in Australia with her. We were like fucking around at the mall in the arcade, or when we've been out with like Mitch and Charlie Jade, and I've met like Molly, and you know, all these people are such a core part of it. And to me, I'd love to have that on a vinyl because of what it does for me when I listen to it. And there's certain things that, you know, there's other ones that are quite funny, for instance. So I'd love to have like Dude Looks Like a Lady by Aerosmith, because my mum used to power clean in our house to like, what is that, 90s?
I think it's 80s.
Like 80s, 90s,
80s,
like
70s.
Kind of rock music. My mum used to power clean to. Like, there's a clip in Mrs. Doubtfire where he's like power cleaning with the Hoover, and I think that's on, and it just reminds me of like my mum cleaning to like Aerosmith or Iron Maiden or Guns N' Roses, and I'd be on the sofa with Amy and she'd just be there like hoovering her heart out, and she'd be singing away and we'd be on the sofa singing away. So there's stuff like that. Like there's a few core pieces I have in my head,
sentimental
yeah,
records,
like
right?
I'd like to have, because then again it sparks a discussion of, oh, this is pretty cool, like tell me about this, and then
Why
you can
have
have
got
that
this?
conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like.
Yeah, there's a couple of pieces. If you could pick one piece, I know it's not my turn to ask, but I'm going to do it anyway.
It's going rogue.
If you could pick one piece, what would it be right now? Off the top of your head, first thing that comes to your head, in terms of like a record.
I would like, I don't know where it went. So I inherited a bunch of vinyls from my mum and dad from their loft, like a few years back, because obviously I don't have a record player anymore. They were like, yeah, if you want it, just take it. And there's a album that my mum had of this band called the Boomtown Rats, and it's a really good album. It's really fucking old, but to me, I know she loves that album. There's a song in it called, oh, what's it called? Rat Trap, that's what it's called. It's called Rat Trap by the Boomtown Rats, and it just makes me think of her, and it just puts this like big smile on my face, because the amount of times we've like just sang it together, and it's just a really wholesome memory. So I'd really like to get that back again, because I don't know where it went. Like I haven't seen it since we moved in here.
It's probably, we'll find it.
There was like a massive like Back for Life that I just kept them all in, and there was like little singles in there, and there was just everything and anything. So I'd quite like to get that again, just from like a nostalgia point of view. Or I like to get Sweet Disposition for the reason that I said before.
Yeah, Disposition would be nice. My first one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go for one. Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
That was in the bag.
I know.
Which is really nice.
I love that album. Do you know why I love that album, right? Because there's this butterfly effect. And I don't know if it was just something I got pranked on, and I've told you this before, but apparently he's wearing like a hoodie.
No, he's not.
Like a fleece underneath. And it's not just a suit. Like, the guy was so relaxed. Yeah. Apparently he's so relaxed, he's wearing like a fleece underneath, and you just don't realise it unless you look at it. Unless I'm being punked at this, but like...
What, on the Thriller?
On the Thriller album, yeah. Obviously, he's laying on his side, isn't he? Like this.
Not on the Thriller one, that's a different one. The Thriller one was when he... I think he's just... No, I'm thinking of Bad.
Yeah, Bad's the one... You had the Bad one.
He's got a leather jacket.
Yeah, off the wall, that is. The one with Bad on is Off the Wall, which is the one where he's leaning against the wall, and it's...
No, the one that she had, it was white... like a white triangle across the top and a white triangle across the bottom, and he's like up close in the middle, and he's got like this black leather jacket on, and his hair's all like it's halfway down.
I'm sure that's Off the Wall.
No, it's not Off the Wall. I swear it was the Thriller album.
No, the Thriller album is the one where he's on his side. That's the one where he's like leaning, and he's on the floor and he's like this. Yeah, which looks so fucking suave. That is the coolest album cover, and obviously it is I still think it is the highest selling record.
And he has a fleece on.
There's something underneath he has. Yeah, it's a general thing that people didn't see. That is so relaxed. Not like I don't think he's got like a I don't know, Nike Tech tracksuit on underneath. But like apparently it's really subtle. But there's something he's got underneath that you can't.
Like a onesie.
Almost, yeah, that you can't see. But I might have just been punked. I might have been doom scrolling too much and just found it. But maybe, who knows?
We'll have a look.
But that is definitely. We'll have a look. That is definitely just because I love that album cover. I'm a sucker for artwork. I really am. I'm a sucker for artwork. The Biggie album that you got me, is an incredible album. Ready to Die is an amazing, amazing album because it's got so many good songs of Notorious B.I.G.'s, but there's a photo of him as a baby on the front. That's the cool, but it's just so it's a piece of art. It's a piece of art. Like I used to have a copy of Random Access Memories, which is Daft Punk's their last album they did, and you opened up the vinyl because it was a two vinyl, and you opened up the packet, and the glass piano that they played the album on is the whole like sleeve like artwork on the thing. And then inside of each sleeve, you've got the schematics for each one of the helmets, like for how they're built and the LEDs and everything. It's so good, and I love when people do that. You've got a Fall Out Boy, Believers Never Die, correct? And inside that, you open up it, and I don't know if you've seen, but there's a bunch of letters that they all wrote about what songs were made, like little memoirs, basically, from each member of the band. And that's what I like. You don't get that with certain things. I've even seen certain bands do cassettes now again, like bring back cassettes.
They've come back.
Cool as a keepsake. No one's going to be really carrying around a cassette player anymore. They're a bit janky. If you do, cool. They are a bit of a pain in the ass. Whereas like a vinyl, there's more product out there. There's more options. You know, I'm just looking at the vinyls now. That's what I was doing. Just because I was thinking if I forgot any of them. But yeah, definitely Michael Jackson's Thriller would be my choice just because that thing could be put on like the Louvre. You could hang that in the Louvre and that would be a work of art. In his dressing gown or wherever I said it was. But definitely the album is so... And also the tracks on the album are incredible. I'm pretty sure on the album you got like PYT, Thriller, all the other ones that are just absolute bangers.
It's great.
So good. Big up Michael. R.I.P. Big man.
But no, that concludes today's episode. Thank you for joining me. You've been great.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to tell that lovely engagement story over and over. And everyone will go, James, why did you actually still do it? And I go, because I love her. And it's something to tell the grandkids.
I've done it when I was healthy.
I'll just repropose, it's fine.
That's fine, we can do that. I'll happily be reproposed to.
That's fine.
In a heartbeat.
But I had a great time. So thank you for organising.
You're welcome. Let us know if anyone else gets sick when they go to Europe. And if so, how do you tackle those symptoms? Or is it just me?
Is Carla the only person that's allergic to Europe?
We will find out. But yeah, we will be back on a bi-weekly basis. Sorry for the delay. But yeah, have a lovely week and we will see you soon.
Love you lots.